What if everything you were ever taught about monsters was a lie? What if the creatures the whole world feared and hunted weren't evil at all, but just trying to survive? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down The Sea Beast, the 2022 animated epic that blends the adventure of old seafaring legends with a surprisingly powerful message about truth, propaganda, and the courage it takes to change your mind. Grab your harpoon, we're setting sail. Let's go. For centuries, sea monsters have plagued the world. These enormous, terrifying creatures rise from the deep and threaten anyone who dares sail the open ocean. But humanity didn't just cower, they fought back. An entire culture of monster hunters emerged, celebrated as heroes, funded by royalty, and immortalized in books and legend. The most famous of these hunters sails aboard a ship called the Inevitable, captained by the legendary Crow, a weathered, one-eyed veteran who has spent his whole life on these waters. Alongside him are his fiercely loyal first mate Sarah Sharp, the sharp-eyed lookout Leah, the steadfast crewmaster Beth Marino, and his adopted son Jacob, a young man who idolizes his father and dreams of one day captaining a ship of his own. These aren't just sailors, they're the greatest monster hunters alive. And today, the hunt is on. Crow has his eye on a legendary beast, a massive, intelligent creature known as the Red Bluster. But mid-pursuit, the crew spots another hunter's ship under violent attack. Despite their mission, Crow makes a call that will define much of what follows. He turns the ship around to help. The Inevitable draws the beast away using cannons and arrows, but this creature is no ordinary monster. It's cunning. It dives beneath the hull, wraps the ship in its tentacles, and nearly brings everything down. It's Jacob who turns the tide, landing a precise arrow that forces the beast to recoil, and Crow who delivers the killing blow with a perfectly thrown spear. It's a spectacular, hard-won victory. But it comes at a cost. Crow is dragged underwater by the dying beast, and only Jacob's quick thinking saves him from drowning. Breathless and grateful, Crow makes his son a solemn promise. Kill the Red Bluster, and the ship is yours. Back at the port city of Three Bridges, the gleaming capital of a monarchy that has long bankrolled the hunters, Crow expects a hero's welcome. Instead, he gets a gut punch.
Admiral Hornigold has reported a rumor that you spotted the Red Bluster, but abandoned your pursuit because of a certain code.
They see it as a failure of priorities. The king and queen announce that monster hunting will soon be handed over to a massive naval warship called the Imperator, commanded by the polished and ambitious Admiral Eric Hornigold. In the Crown's eyes, Crow made the wrong call when he abandoned the Red Bluster to save a colleague's ship. Crow, never one to hold his tongue, fires back.
Not in that thing. She rests too low. And them fixed cannons is useless. Don't send your soldiers to die in a ship like that. It's not built for hunting. And neither are you.
They'll be slaughtered out there. The queen is furious. Before things escalate completely, it's Jacob who steps in with a bold proposal. One final race between the Inevitable and the Imperator. The first crew to kill the Red Bluster keeps the glory and the contract.
Give us one more try for the Bluster. If we take it, you keep your promise and we continue our alliance. If the Imperator takes the Bluster, well, you can tear down the Inevitable for scrap. And the days of the hunters will be over.
The king and queen accept. The race is on. No sooner does the ship leave port than a stowaway is discovered hiding below deck. Her name is Maisie Brumble, a quick-witted, fearless young girl who grew up obsessed with monster hunters after her own parents died on a hunt. She's read every book, memorized every legend, and absolutely refuses to be sent home. Sarah Sharp takes Maisie under her wing while the crew debates what to do with her, but there's no time for lengthy deliberation. The Inevitable has already found the Red Bluster. The hunt begins in dramatic fashion, harpoons flying, the ship straining against the beast's colossal strength. But then everything goes wrong. The beast pulls the ship toward a deadly underwater vortex, the mast threatening to snap under the pressure. Jacob makes a desperate judgment call. He allows Maisie to cut the rope connecting them to the beast. It saves the ship, but it also lets the Red Bluster escape. And in the chaos, both Jacob and Maisie are thrown into the churning sea. right before the massive creature surges up from the depths and swallows them whole. This is the moment the film pivots completely. Jacob and Maisie find themselves alive, impossibly, deposited on a remote island that appears to be a sanctuary for sea creatures. Slowly, she begins to see what Jacob can't yet. Jacob's instinct is still to fight. He makes several attempts to attack the Red Bluster, but Maisie keeps getting in the way. The blaster, who Maisie names simply Red, isn't aggressive. She doesn't lunge, doesn't threaten. She's cautious, curious, and protective. These creatures are mammals. They guard their young. They only strike when they feel endangered. Maisie bonds with Red and with a smaller creature she calls Blue. After Red saves both of them from a massive crab beast that would have killed them, even Jacob has to pause. Maybe everything he was taught isn't entirely true. The journey to find a ship and return to civilization forces Jacob and Maisie to spend real time with Red, riding on her back across open water, removing old harpoons and spears embedded in her skin from past hunts. It's intimate and telling. These creatures carry the wounds of human aggression everywhere they go. Jacob begins asking harder questions. The books all say the monsters started this war, but when Maisie suggests that maybe humans were the aggressors all along, Jacob can't find a clean counter-argument. He's always accepted the world as it was presented to him, by Crow, by the Crown, and by the stories. But the reality in front of him doesn't match those stories.
Maybe they didn't start this war.
Maybe, but why would we?
The monsters aren't villains, they're survivors. And Jacob, to his credit, starts to genuinely wrestle with that. When they reach Rum Pepper Island, hoping to find passage home, they discover Admiral Hornigold and the Imperator already anchored there. Red attacks. The naval vessel, bristling with firepower, opens up with everything it has, and in the chaos, Maisie is wounded by cannon fire. Red nearly kills Hornigold and destroys his ship entirely. Jacob manages to hold her back at the last moment, sparing the Admiral's life. But before they can regroup, Crow arrives, and he's not the man Jacob left behind. Believing Jacob to be dead, Crow has descended into obsession. He visited an elderly black market merchant named Gwen Batterby, trading everything he had for a poison capable of killing the Red Bluster and a harpoon large enough to deliver it. Sarah warned him this violated the hunter's code.
Captain! We don't need this. We're hunters.
He didn't care. Grief and vengeance had hollowed him out. He fires the poison harpoon at Red, and it strikes. The beast collapses. Crow hauls her back to Three Bridges, half alive, as a trophy. With Red chained in the harbor, Maisie is locked in her cabin aboard. The inevitable. But her small companion Blue finds a way in and frees her. As Maisie moves through the ship, something catches her eye. The Crown's royal seal, embedded in every single book about sea monsters and their hunters. Every story, every illustration, every heroic account, all of it was produced under the Crown's authority, all of it telling the same one-sided story. The realization lands like a thunderclap.
It was them.
The Crown didn't fund the hunters out of public duty. They manufactured the narrative, the monsters as existential evil and the hunters as saviors, to maintain power, to control fear, and to keep the population united behind the monarchy. The beasts were never the aggressors, they were defending themselves. Every hunt, every death, every trophy is part of a centuries-long lie. A massive public spectacle is underway. The Crown has assembled the people of Three Bridges to witness Crow execute Red in the harbor, a grand display of power. But Jacob refuses to let it happen. He confronts Crow in front of everyone. The two men fight, father and son, hunter and believer, and Crow eventually knocks Jacob into the water. Meanwhile, Sarah Sharp, who has been quietly reconsidering everything she thought she knew, joins Maisie and helps cut Red free. It's a stunning moment. The crew's most experienced, most loyal member is choosing conscience over command. When Red is finally loose, Maisie and Jacob urge her not to retaliate, to spare Crow, despite everything. And Red listens, the violence stops, and in the silence that follows, the truth comes pouring out for all to hear. Maisie speaks to the crowd, not with weapons or threats, but with evidence and courage. She exposes the Crown's centuries of manipulation, The sea beasts were never waging war on humanity. They were animals responding to being hunted, wounded, and terrorized.
Our history is a lie. I don't believe the beast ever threatened our shores. It was just a story. A story told by them.
The people of Three Bridges, confronted with the truth they were never meant to see, renounced the crown's narrative.
Listen to the child!
Fire! Your queen commands it!
Let the beast go!
And with the monarchy's grip on the story broken, the hunts end. The creatures are left in peace. Even Crow, stripped of his obsession, broken open by the fight with Jacob and the choice Red made to spare him, finally lets go. The hatred that defined him dissolves. He renounces his past. The Sea Beast is, on its surface, a swashbuckling adventure with jaw-dropping animation and genuinely thrilling set pieces. But underneath all of that, it's a film about how stories shape reality and how the people in power have always known it. It asks a deceptively simple question. What happens when the things you were raised to believe turn out to be weapons pointed at someone else? The answer, this film argues, is that the bravest thing you can do is change. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more animated deep dives, and drop a comment. What was your favorite moment from The Sea Beast? I'll see you in the next one.